The missional community, I think, is a great apologetic for the gospel. I'd say it's both the apologetic and the hermeneutic. So the apologetic in the sense that Jesus said, they'll know you're my disciples by your love for one another. And then in John 17, he says it's your unity that's going to convince them that the Father sent the Son. So our love for one another says we're his disciples, and our unity says that the Father would send the Son to rescue us. At least that's what Jesus said. So our missional community is unity together, and love for one another is going to be the way that the world's going to know that the Father loves us and that the Father sent the Son to rescue us. And I think one of the most powerful apologetics of the gospel, this is back to John 17, is when a group of people love one another, live in unity together in the midst of a broken, dark, depraved world, and they don't think that they have to remove themselves from the world to be sanctified because they believe the gospel is powerful enough to sanctify them in the middle of a broken world. And that's what Jesus said. It's not removal that I want, Father. I want you to keep them in the world, but let them be sanctified, not by removal, but sanctified by my word, by the truth of the gospel. And so I think when you've got a group of people who love one another, are unified, and are being transformed in the middle of a messed up place and look radically different than everyone else, that alone is a great apologetic for the gospel, because it's not removal from bad stuff that changes us, but it's the gospel in the middle of bad stuff that changes us. And so that just says the gospel is really powerful because it can transform even in the midst of a broken place. Now, I think the other part of it, in terms of it being the hermeneutic of the gospel, meaning this is how you come to know what the gospel is and what it does. Just look at these people together and their love for one another, and you'll know what the gospel does. It changes people, and it makes people loving, and it calls them to die to themselves for the sake of others. And you'll come to know what the gospel does, the hermeneutic, or what it means, by watching it at work. And I don't think you can see the gospel at work apart from community. Because that's the whole point, is that it changes people so they'll love one another and they'll love God and they'll be willing to give their life up for his sake. So I don't know any other place that's going to happen apart from life on life together in normal activity. Because it's really easy to put on the front that you love people and love Jesus for a couple hours on Sunday, or in a Sunday school class, or even for that matter in a small group for a couple hours. But when you're doing it all week long, now you can't fake it anymore. So, and when people see that consistently all week, they realize this is not just an act, this is your life. It's radically different.